Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here. I want you to imagine with me, if you will. You don't know me. Many of you might have heard or watched the posts that I've made. And even though when I make presentations to you, I try to be as open, as transparent as I possibly can, because I want you to see that I feel that truly I am one of you. And I want you to believe by the things I say about what I'm interested in, that you are important to me, not just because you are a human being, but because there's something else going on spiritually that we might not, most of us are not familiar with at all. And we have an obligation when we know something to show something. And for me, can you imagine me going out here deciding that I want to disassemble the education department, that I want to go through the states and or affect the states in such a way, or affect the federal government in such a way that it will affect the states, that the military basically loses its significance beyond anything that I would have it do. Can you imagine me going to the health department firing people because I wanna, or I've gotten my reasons? I mean, but these things that are not normal, and all of a sudden, this guy right here, decided that I wanted to do it for some strange reason, some magical power, or something has happened. Turn something upside down. So when I say something, it happens. Now, these things I'm not mentioning to you. Can you imagine me doing it? What does that say to you? Well, the same thing that it says to you is the same thing that what Trump, Doge, and Musk and those guys are doing. It's the same identical thing. I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, America does not have the greatest reputation, but America has a fool in office that is exposing all those things that we never knew. You see, America has done some ugly things, but the thing that will be remembered most about America is America's cruelty. Many of us saw something on television the other day. We saw it on social media, I'm convinced, of guys who had been rounded up by the Trump ideals and being sent to Venezuela. I believe that's where they're being sent, to be incarcerated, put in concentration camps. This is a punishment. And no due process according to what America's supposed to represent. The thing when you saw them coming off these buses, you saw them being treated like animals. They weren't being treated like human beings. They were being dragged out, drugged out, all bent over, couldn't even stand up, pulled out by their hair, put it before the camera so the world could see. They wanted the world to see America's ugliness. Now, then again, you get confused because, Trump think that when you do stuff like this and the world sees it, it means you're powerful. You see, he is romantic about stuff like this. When he see Putin and some other dictators do this, he called these powerful guys. Now he's ramrodding America and he's doing stuff like this. He wants the world to see. So he thinks that they will think that he is powerful. Nobody's afraid of power like that. Nobody. Don't you see what Ukraine is doing with Russia? They're not afraid of Russia. They're willing to give up their lives. And when Trump get out here and start making America look really, really, really foolish, Americans are going to turn on his butt. And he will see exactly what he's doing and what it really means to the people. But even that won't make any difference. Because here we are, ladies and gentlemen, dealing with that every day. Every day. That wasn't Biden. Biden wasn't that bad. That's Trump. That wasn't Obama. Obama wasn't that bad. This is Trump. There wasn't Bush. He was bad, but he wasn't this bad. So all of our presidents have had some faults, but nobody's been like this. This guy right here just decided he want to take over the whole country. He wants to boss you, and I mean take over, not ask you to permit him to serve you. No, to take over, put fear in your butt, threaten you. Well, that's the way of the world. You see, there are places to that extent hasn't happened, or it happened so long ago they've gone through the change. And places where it has never happened, it will happen if things don't change. You see, so what we have here in America, what we see in Donald Trump, and what we see Megyn and all that ugly, low down, mean, evil stuff from hell, they are actually showing us. This is not a movie. They are actually showing us exactly what they did to the natives when they came over here and tricked them like they were friends. Tricked them like they were friends. And when they got them thinking that they were friends and the natives had their guards all down and friendly, this is when the attack came. The enemy within. And what you saw happening to those guys that were picked up, Trump, they're calling gangs, that's the way they were done us natives. The same identical way, treating them like animals, not human. But I said that to say, they took the land. A lot of you are really up against that. But at the same time, this is how slavery operated. Now, that was nothing what you saw right there. Slavery was triple worse than that. So when you see this happening in your mind, you should be able to go back and say, wow, so this is how they treated black people back in those days. And no wonder black people feel the way they feel. And we still haven't made things right. That's what might cross your mind, might not. But what you see them doing is telling us, is speaking to us today. That's the past speaking to America today. And the challenge is, what are we as Americans going to do about it? You see, this is just part of this. Is not as bad as they can get. These guys plan to go much worse than that. These guys want to rule the world, not just a country. They want to rule the world. So they're willing to kill half the people on earth if it get them permission to rule the rest of the half, which means ruling the world. But the question that you should have in your mind is, you didn't ask to be here. So why are you going through these kinds of things? And I will stand before you and tell you you're going through these kinds of things because of the choices that you're making. You have been deceived and you don't know it. You think that when someone say that you're being deceived, you think they're talking about somebody else within the system is deceiving you to take advantage of you, but not to control and manipulate you and rob you of all that which is yours, because you don't have no idea what is yours. But what God wants you to know, that everything, even the earth, was created by God, but it was given and provided for all that can benefit or use the earth for anything. And for us as human beings and others, things and whatever, we were provided for as a human being. That power that created us knew exactly what we would require in our stance in life. And so it was provided for on earth from the power that made us, who set up a system so when we come into the world, someone takes care of us for a period of time as a method of teaching us how to care for one another. Care for one another as you have been cared for. And that's usually what's happened. A lot of us have been mistreated, and that's why we act as adults being mistreated. But that's the way of the world. What we're talking about today is how to clear that out, being taught by the parents. And the many things that's in the world as you grow up, that's being done to make the world you're exposed to, restricted from nothing except that which destroys, that which causes pain and suffering. But you're to embrace life. And that's what you're learning. Give you the opportunity to fall in love with something. And that which you fall in love with, you're blessed because you have the opportunity to choose that which gives you back in return for your love, your greatest joy. For your love, your greatest joy. Your love. You falling in love with something that when you engage yourself, or while you're engaging yourself, it brings to you your greatest joy. And this spirit is here. This happening with you. You love it. You're performing it. It's bringing you your greatest joy. And the thing that's so magnificent with that is that all the other people in the world are going through the same kinds of things. And when you put all of those kinds of things together, they are, first of all, they're individual, but it is a collective by design. And when you put it all together, you have the resources that have allowed you to create a form of what is known as heaven on earth. It doesn't make you perfect. You've got a lot of growing up to do. But it eliminates that which was used to corrupt, deception, lies, and cheating. All that kind of stuff has no need anymore because you've overcome that. But how to never want to cheat on your spouse or do stuff like that. What else can you do that? Well, you don't have anything to really lie about because you're satisfied with your life. Hey, who knows? Let's just accomplish that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I will stop there. I don't want to stop boring you because I know you know the stuff that I'm saying to you just as well as I know. So, I'm going to leave it there. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye for now.